in, it's different points and whatnot. But sometimes it's physical, body related. And one might need to, I don't know, maybe visit a doctor or something. So sometimes I fail to distinguish which is the case. When I initially started to feel it, my preceptor said to consult the doctor, and the doctor said there's nothing wrong, everything is fine. So then I realized it's the vibrations and the normal work, but sometimes it could be physical body related as well. So how do you distinguish? Or
Okay. So when you say vibrations, like shaking of the head or something like that, right? Is that what you are meant?
Not on the head.
I mean, shaking of the body or something
Yeah,
like that, right?
pressure on some points during the day when I'm not sitting in either meditation or cleaning or prayer.
Okay. So that is a good question. So people do feel, all those vibrations are because of the cleaning. Most of the things we feel during meditation, which are you feel very tangible, all those tangible things are happening because of the cleaning process. Okay. Whereas the real spiritual experiences are very, very, very subtle. And sometimes, see, when I sit in meditation, what to expect? I don't know if anyone can pinpoint and say this is what is going to happen in your meditation. Each meditation is different. Each meditation brings up something. And we also, most of the things we kind of bring it down to the body level, because that's where we are more connected to. All that feedback, we'll bring it down to the body level. That's why the sensations we try to feel, we try to see, is mostly at the body level. And people say, oh, I'm feeling sensation here, or here on the heart, wherever. Correct? We try to bring it to the body level. But slowly we transcend. So let me take this question a little deeper. Okay. So suppose if we talk about God. What is God? So God, if I say omniscient, everywhere. So in everywhere, I'm kind of giving a spatial context to it. And he is there in all time. Then I am giving a time context to it. So whenever I give a spatial context or even a time context. Hello Varsha, thanks for joining. So I was just trying to define God. So,
trying to define God. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Or trying not to define God. So when we say God is everywhere, then we are giving a spatial context. If we say God is all time, is there in the past, in the present, and going to be there in the future, then we are giving a time context. Correct?
And he has no context.
He has no context.
He itself is a problem.
He itself is a problem. Even God, you can call it God. There is no gender there again. He, she, it. Then nothing of that sort, right? So now we cannot fit it into any context. Now if I say God exists, existential, then we put it in an existential context. If I say God does not exist, then we put God in a non-existential context, where there is no context for the God. So it is neither existence nor non-existence. It's beyond both. That's why whenever we talk beyond something, the word beyond is in spiritual context, especially in heartfulness, you will hear it a lot. Whenever you hear beyond, oh, Daji says you have to go beyond. The moment it says beyond, that means it cannot be explained. Okay. So you have to transcend. Transcend what? To what extent? From what perspective? Again, you cannot put God into a perspective. So that means basically God is not available for any bodily and mental faculties at all.
Shrikant, you're making it so hard.
I am making it hard so that then I can make it easy.
Right, make it easy. It's very philosophical.
It is hard so that we can make it easy.
Okay.
I mean, but usually the human has a tendency, if you give them an easy thing, they'll make it complex. We never like anything easy. So if you make it complex and make it easy, then it appeals more better.
All right, we'll try it your way.
It is not philosophical. Here, I'm kind of getting at something very practical. So it is not available for any. It doesn't matter how intellectual one is. It is not available for in a mental context. Though we try to bring all our meditational experiences to the mental level. That's where the problem is. So it is not available for mental states, and neither thinking or perception, nor perception, even it is not available for any level of perception. Now, how do we kind of reconcile this whole thing? So now you see where I'm going at. Meditation is none of these things. Meditation is neither done with mind, even though they say mind is required for meditation. And just because I'm doing meditation, I'll have some perception of something. That's not possible. So that's why the right attitude for meditation, Daji always says. What is the right attitude for meditation? So right attitude is where I am open and willing just to sit and wait. Just to sit and wait, open and willing. Why Babaji has to emphasize so much on this? What is the required quality for meditation? He said, all that I need is willingness. Willingness for what? Willingness to meditate. And do what in meditation? Just wait. Then what should happen in my meditation? See, again I'm going back to Neha's question. What should happen? Okay, if I'm feeling bodily vibration, is there something wrong with my body? No, because I'm kind of trying to focus too much and trying to understand something out of meditation. I'm putting a lot of pressure on my system. So you feel those vibrations. Because we want to get something out of it. It is very, very difficult for a human mind to comprehend that there is nothing you are getting out of it. See, I'm giving pause so that you can kind of absorb what I'm saying while I'm talking. Today I'm talking like Obama. I'm giving a lot of pause in between. Right? So, how do you reconcile? Then what should happen in meditation? Nothing. Then why should I do it? So this is where the sensitivity and the subtlety of the inner consciousness is kind of going beyond all boundaries which we so far I have experienced and thought about. There is no exercise, mental exercise or exercise for consciousness in our regular mundane life. How much ever philosophical I get through books, how much ever philosophical I get through thinking, or how much ever information I gather through reading, or even enhance all my intellectual capacities even beyond Einstein or anybody you know so far in this world. Still, this thing, there is no exercise for consciousness. All that is happening is with a thin layer of consciousness available to us. That's all. Because we are not exercising our consciousness by any of these activities we know humanly. So the only activity when we try to connect or wait for something to reveal from inside. So meditation, again by definition, to wait for something to reveal by itself. But we are waiting with an idea of godly presence. Just to start with an idea, it's a very abstract idea. But what's happening? What's happening is because of that waiting. I mean, again, what is waiting? Waiting has no past, no future. Waiting brings your mind to the present. Understand this. This is a kind of waiting, it's not just a waiting. I'm waiting for a bus, not like that. This kind of waiting brings your mind to the total presence. And that presence, as it is narrowing down to the presence, it creates certain focus. It creates certain pressure on the mind. So now that exercise of consciousness begins to happen. Because now it is absorbing something which is being revealed from inside. So that is why this available consciousness is not enough to work with that kind of waiting. So the consciousness is forced to expand.
Say that again.
So it is not enough that kind of an exercise, that absorption cannot happen with our available consciousness, the thin layer of consciousness. So what's happening is it is forcing that consciousness, the situation is forcing the consciousness to expand from where it is right now.
You're saying our waiting is causing the consciousness to expand?
Correct. Waiting, it is waiting. Why is it waiting? That whatever is being revealed as part of that waiting, whatever is being absorbed as part of that waiting, it cannot work with this thin layer of consciousness. So now it is forced to expand. I'm using the word forced, but naturally it expands. Because of that act of meditation, that waiting. So that is why the expansion of consciousness is possible. To aid this expansion, especially in heartfulness, what we have is this transmission, the yogic energy. What is yogic energy is nothing but the divine essence is becoming evident. Rather, you might want to think it as the final achievement of that goal is being transmitted to you. So what it is doing is, and due to that transmission, now the consciousness is put into that dimension, and the ultimate dimension of that, what we call beyond. Beyond existence, beyond non-existence. So if I want to kind of do that kind of an exercise, forget concentration, forget focusing, forget bringing it down to the mental level, physical level. Don't force yourself. No pressure should be applied during meditation. That's why in meditation we become totally passive. We allow the expansion to happen and we become a witness where we are not interfering with anything. So when there is no interference, then there is no distortion. When there is no distortion, it is the silence of the consciousness. Though mind might be thinking. Mind might be thinking about my work, about the quarrels of the past, or my future winning of the lottery. It could be thinking anything. Right? So that thinking has nothing to do with this silence of the consciousness.
Do you think consciousness and the mind happen to be parallel to each other?
They're always parallel. They're in two different dimensions. And mind's role or faculty, the kind of the role mind is playing is, mind is always more eager to engage with this external world. And it is constantly doing it. Okay. But just because we gave this idea, it little bit diverts inside the thought energy. But that's about it. But again, that thought energy diversion is not really doing anything for your meditation. What's happening is this, as this inner consciousness is becoming silent, less distorted, and it's kind of unites with this essence which cannot be grasped otherwise. Then you get that feeling, that essence. Something shift happens inside. Okay. And for that, you are just waiting. See the simple act of meditation. For that, you are just waiting. And it's happening. This is the process of meditation. So we are always worried, have lots of thoughts. You're talking about something else other than meditation when you talk about thoughts. So that is why it is not the silence of the mind. This again, if you go to the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it says, Chitti Vritta Nirodha means no distortions, Chitta, to the consciousness. They never said mind. But we always translated it to the mind, and we said, all our books spoke about silence. Silence of what? It is not the silence of the mind. Silence of the mind might happen in some states, but that is a side effect of meditation. But by making the mind silence, you are not achieving anything. But by making this consciousness silent, it merges into that. Because only the consciousness has the real grasp of that divine. Okay. Otherwise, everything we do, everything we talk about is at the mental, physical level. Even the so-called...
So then what is God?
That silence which consciousness experiences. That is the closer we can get from a human experience point of view. Otherwise, there is no definition for God. And that's why all the scriptures either, try to exaggerate, make it very powerful. And then for that, if it is, it is not enough, they created an anti-God, devil, equally powerful. But God, the real God, true God is beyond both. Okay. So the God we perceived at a mental faculty, mental level, because now at this mental level I have to make him very powerful. He knows everything. And then there is an opposite force which is pulling you away from the God. But in meditation, both don't exist. The powerful God don't exist. The anti-God don't exist. We are only going to the true God. That's why Jesus always said, my Father in heaven. He always referred to the Father. That Father in heaven, the real God, if I want to assimilate, absorb, connect, become, is an act of meditation. So that's why meditation takes us way deep. And we always use this word because we cannot explain beyond. What is beyond? Beyond what? It's beyond. It's like the kids say when you ask them what happened, they say because and they pause. After that there is no answer. Same thing here. Hope I did not push you guys in a into a very philosophical thought, but it is not philosophical, it is very practical we are talking about here. That's why... Sorry, go ahead.
I think it is extremely hard to put it in words exactly what happened, what happens, and during the meditation. And you did an excellent job. I commend you for that. But the question she had was, and I can see a disciple, a practitioner, asking that, because we have books that explain the chakras, we have videos that talk about, XYZ experience this, XYZ experience that. So I would say it is common or natural for a practitioner to dig deeper into it and think more about it. And her question was like, hey, look, I feel like this, I feel these vibrations, and I'm not able to figure out what that is. And, it happens throughout the day, and she sorted out it's not medical. So the question still remains open, at least for me, that, so what is it that I feel? And then when when Daji talks about it, this is what happened with it's his quotes and the recordings that say, he was sitting with a senior disciple and then talked about it and how you felt and the condition and the colors. So how does an average Joe process that?
So this is, how somebody should process. That's why I'm saying slowly learn to go away from this processing. Because all processing is at the mental level. So if I want to become...
telling us to process, in a sense, to be aware of the sensation?
No, that's fine. I'm not denying all those steps. But how long? You will be remaining and going back and forth in only that space. How long you want to do it? I'll tell you, if you are a practitioner for 1 year, it is enough. Move on. Go to the next. Okay, for 1 year, what all you're saying, okay, should I not, how do I reconcile, how do I take this idea of colors and vibration? Oh, fine, But that is in the very beginning. Now we passed that stage. Correct? So now look for the next steps, look for the better steps. All those colors and everything will reveal, for some people, they are very pictorial, visual. I never saw any colors in my life so far. Okay.
Honest confession, even I have difficulty.
So that's why...
The only thing is, I feel murmur at my forward point, and then I don't know if it's just the palpitation or, whatever I'm going through that time, or some preconceived notion. It's a tough one.
Correct. So, but that's why I'm saying all that now we're trying to bring it to the physical state and try to experience it. Not even at the mental level. We are bringing it down even further. Okay, so now leave all these ideas. That's why I'm telling Neha, you might be feeling physical vibrations, but if you leave that idea, you will not have those vibrations. Because we are putting so much stress.
You think we want to feel it, kind of rationalize that we've meditated, at some level?
No, so that's why I gave that big philosophical introduction, try to make it hard, so that leave all these lower ideas. Why should I rationalize it? Why should I rationalize any activity? I mean, especially meditation is, think of it as a non-action, non-activity. So the result is also no result. Think of it like that.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that point because there is a difference. I cannot put the words around it as to what it is. And then I think we all are here Tuesday after Tuesday or a Sunday is because there is something that we found or we experience. It's tough to put words around it.
Yeah. So from now on, challenge yourself. It's a challenge.
Okay.
It's a challenge to all of us. From now on, let's leave all this, simple ideas, mental state, vibration here, palpitations there, let's kind of leave all these lower ideas, mental states. Let's see if we can go to that state. The moment the consciousness becomes silent, when the consciousness becomes silence, it is pure. What is purity? That which is not distorted by anything. That which is not adulterated by anything. Let the mind do its job. Let it adulterate how much ever it wants. Let it engage
So I
with
always
this
thought
world.
that adulteration of the mind was interfering with my consciousness.
No, it doesn't. They're two different things. Two different things. Even a lot of times the distortion in the consciousness is what mind is interpreting. That's why we kind of correlate it. But if I just leave it alone, let the mind do whatever it wants, you just become a witness. Slowly, what's happening with the mind also drops. And then you go into that real space, real dimension, where when you come out, you cannot explain what happened, but it is wonderful. That's all you can say. It's wonderful. And slowly you will find the words for it. So some of our books will help you find the words for it, but that's a later thing. Okay. So that's why meditation is the most simple activity of waiting. So now I made it really simple. Meditation is an act of waiting. That means bring the mind to the present. In the presence, there is no future, there is no past. The mind slips into that space where there is no future and past. It becomes present, and that's when the consciousness opens up, expands.
And it has to expand because what is being revealed to us cannot be contained in the consciousness we
But
have.
even the revelation, you cannot put it in words. So don't bother.
No, I'm saying it cannot. The reason consciousness expands is because that thin veil of consciousness that we are exposed to cannot
Sustain it.
hold
Yeah.
and sustain what is being revealed.
Correct. So it has to expand.
We don't have to come out of it saying this was revealed to me.
No. Any revelation, again, it brings down to the mental level, mental state. So, revelations are most of the time, 99.9999% of the time, mental projections, nothing else. Okay. I don't know if I'm encouraging you guys or discouraging you guys, but I see it very encouraging for me. Now I don't have to bother about anything. About progress, about this, about God, about philosophy, about anything. I can simply wait to experience,
It is
to
freeing
become.
in a way.
Yeah. All right. So it's almost 30 minutes.